Hey, what's going on, everyone? I know there's nobody in here right now, but this is going to be my live fragrance. I'm going to be doing this for about an hour. Please let me know if you can hear me. And if you can, type in the chat. Also, ask any questions that you would like. Please let me know if you can hear me in the chat. If you can hear me in the chat. If not, I'll take my headphone out. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me with my headphone in? Or do I need to leave my headphone out? All right, so let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Start in the chat for live fragrance Q&A. Might have a little bit of something else going on, but also let me know if you can hear me, because I've had buggy streams before. What's up, guys? So it's Randy back with another live. So I'm going to go over a bunch of different fragrances in this video. Luke, I'm going to put my headphone in for a second. Let me know if you can still hear me with that. Can you still hear me right now? Can you still hear me with my headphone in? All right. Well, I appreciate you guys joining. We're going to wait for a bunch of other people to get here before I start doing the reviews. But I have a bunch to go over today. Some that I'm going to be revisiting and some that I'm going to be pretty much just going over for the first time. And then there was also a few from our last video or at our last live that I didn't go over. I was cut off midstream, and that Chrome Eau de Parfum, brand new 2022. And then I also had Replica Coffee Break. I've actually never tried this Maison Margiela. There was a bunch of other Maison Margielas that I have that I'd like to go over at some point. But then I'd like to revisit Invictus Platinum. I want to revisit Sauvage Elixir. And I want to revisit 1 Million Elixir. And Tom Ford's No Air Extreme. And then any other questions that you guys have, we'll go through that. But I'll wait until we get about 10 people in the chat before I do that. Am I ever going to show what's in the yolk bag? Yeah, I will. This stream's outside, so I would have to walk up into the third floor of my house to get the yolk bag and then come back down. It'd probably take me a while. So I'll do that on my next live. My next live, this is just an extra live because I was off today, but I will definitely show my yolk bag in another live. My normal lives are on Sundays, so I'll show that on that day. Unless I might want to make it bigger before I show you guys, because right now there's about, I'd say, 18 bottles of fragrance in there. There's 1, 2, 3 yolks. There's 4 guesses. There's a bunch of Cubas. It's the shit pile of the men's fragrance industry. So yeah, that's my yolk bag. That's funny. I didn't even know that people knew about that. I guess I say it more than I thought I did. So how did you guys like my 6 fragrances today? So even though it was labeled top 6, it wasn't actually my top 6 summer fragrances, because obviously those would probably be more daytime and blue fragrances. I wanted to give you guys a daytime citrus fragrance, a daytime sweet fragrance. Yes, Daniel, I am doing another 25 fragrances in under 5 minutes. I thought that my first 25 in under 5 minute videos got over 2,000 likes or 2,000 views. And then after that, they only got like 50 or 100. And you guys have no idea how much work I put into those 25 fragrance under 5 minutes, because not only do I have to film 25 separate videos, then I have to create the intro, the outro, then I have to put in the background music, then I have to adjust all the volumes for each 25 video to make sure it's above the music. Then I have to then go in and record 25 of my own voices. Then I have to record the voice for the intro, then the voice for the outro. Then I have to go and separate that fire background into 25 videos, as well as an intro and an outro, and then put it all together. So it takes me about 2 days to make one. I want to make the next one good because, again, I had about 2,000 to 3,000 views on the first few. And then all of a sudden it dropped down to pretty much 50 views. And it took me more hours to make than I got views. So I'm not necessarily searching for views, but for those type of videos, I am, because I'm taking so long out of my day and my weekends to make those ones. So anyway, getting back into whatever, I don't even know what the hell I was saying, but yeah, I got all those. So the 6 that I was going, oh, that's right. The 6 in my top 6 fragrances, or 6 fragrances, are released today. Again, I wanted to have the daytime citrus. I wanted to have the fruity fragrance in there. Obviously, the Rosacea Hawass. I wanted to have the daytime sweet gourmand fragrance for those who like sweet fragrances but want to wear them during the day. And then I wanted to have my 3 nighttime ones. So the versatile nighttime blue, the versatile gourmand that is also able to be worn in the summer, but more for nighttime. And then I forget what the third one was, but yeah. Oh, and my signature scent, which is Dior Sport 2021. And so I was just pretty much giving you, I think 3 of those are in my top 6 fragrances. That would be Dior Sport 2021, Rosacea Hawass, and actually 4. Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue Eau Intense, and the Azzaro Most Wanted. Those are my top. Those are 4 of my top 6 fragrances. Actually, top 6 fragrances. The other 2 were just kind of thrown in there to kind of complete the versatility factor of the video. Tomorrow, I will be releasing Parfums de Marly warm weather fragrance. It's like kind of like their warm weather fragrance buying guide. So the 3 that I know of, I don't have any other warm weather fragrances by them, because I haven't really heard anything about any other warm weather fragrances for them. I know Parfums de Marly has a large line, but most of them lean for the fall and winter. You got Sedley, you got Percival, and you have why can't I think of Greenlee? And those are the ones that I'm doing tomorrow. The video will consist of me going through, telling you all about those 3 fragrances, letting you know which one I prefer and which one I'm going to pick up this summer. Because what I'm doing with Parfums de Marly, since it is a niche, I don't want to spend that much money all the time. So I'm going to be picking up 1 Parfums de Marly fragrance each season. So I got Leighton from the winter into the spring. It's on its way. I just picked it up a little bit late. And then I'm most likely going to be picking up Sedley, but that's not 100% for sure yet. So it hasn't really changed much. We still only have 7 people in here. So I'm just going to go through. Which one do you guys want to hear about first? Do you want me to I'll just continue on where I left off in my last live. So I got cut off whenever I was talking about this Chrome Azzaro, and that is the Eau de Parfum. I was talking about this in the middle of the video, and then I got like 7 comments in, and then I completely forgot to review the rest of it. I had not sampled it at that point in time, but now, as you can tell, I've pretty much worn the entire sample. This is one that I did not send to the winner of the giveaway last time, because it was one of the ones that I wanted to keep. And I can tell you this is going to be a pickup once it drops down to the average Chrome price. But right now, I can tell you Chrome Azzaro Eau de Parfum is 100% worth the pickup. It takes that Chrome DNA that is generic, and it makes it more modern. It actually lasts longer, and it is usually the Chrome flankers, about 9 out of 10 are terrible, or not terrible, but they're just basic, generic, and not worth a pickup. There's a few in the line. Chrome United has a T note in there, which is kind of unique. Then there's Chrome Extreme, which everybody knows is probably the best Chrome out there right now. The original Chrome, still a good pickup for the price, but I would say that this is tied or right behind Chrome Extreme. That is actually how good this fragrance is. It's definitely more for the spring and summer, but it's a little bit more versatile, as are a lot of the Chromes, even though it's more of a daytime fragrance. This one does, again, make it more modern, a little bit more versatile. Chrome Eau de Parfum is definitely a banger for that line, so I would recommend at least trying it out. Again, it's brand new, so right now it's going at full retail. It's not that good of a pickup at that price. I would say it's probably $50 or under. So the next one is going to be one that I have never tried before, but I like to wear my morning fragrances. The One is probably my favorite to wear. If you guys watched my The One Eau de Parfum, Eau de Toilette, and Eau de Parfum Intense video the other day, I was talking about how it is one of my favorite things to do is to wear fragrances that don't last very long in the morning, because you get to wake up, you get that invigoration from the fragrance. And the One Eau de Toilette is probably my favorite to wear. I like to have that sweetness when I wake up. So I got this sample of Coffee Break, and I thought maybe that would be interesting because obviously coffee wakes people up in the morning. So I'm going to spray it on. Let me get a tester strip. All right, sorry. I left my test. I was going to do the video facing that way, but the sun's shining directly on it, and I would have, all you would have saw was the outline of my body. Let's see if this smells like coffee or if it's worth a pickup. Has anybody tried Replica? I don't see anybody typing in the chat, so By the Fireplace is pretty good along with the Coffee Break. I have tried By the Fireplace. It was one that I tried when I first got into fully collecting fragrances, and at that point in time, it wasn't anything special to me, even though I heard a lot of people talking about it. I thought it was just what it is. It smells like a fireplace. That was pretty much it. And some people agree with me, some people argued with me, but the ones that I like are Jazz Club, and they're I haven't tried very many, but what's the other one? I don't remember what the other one is. Oh, that was a Cartier L'Envol. I was trying to think of whenever I was last at the mall. But oh yeah, Colby Jazz Club. Yeah, that's a good one. That's what I just said, I think. So Coffee Break's good. It actually smells it smells like a perfumey coffee. It doesn't smell like what you would think, like a sweet. I would have thought that this was going to be like one of those vanilla background coffee fragrances, kind of similar to like Halloween Man X, where they have that cloying sweetness. David, yo, I'm here. Always see you at the SoCal's channel. This is another. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Yeah, me and Jeff are a. I started on his channel before I even became a fragrance person, and I was watching him all the time, talking to him on there. Then we started talking offline, on a like email chat, and then we just kind of just. I got the most wanted the most wanted parfum. I sent it to him, and then ever since then, we've pretty much been talking daily. And so Jeff's a really good guy. If you guys haven't seen SoCal Scents, he's not a fragrance reviewer. He likes to consider himself like a fragrance comparison, where he'll get a bunch of girls who won Emmy Awards. They're in Days of Our Lives. They're all pretty beautiful women. Check out fragrances. Do them side by side. A lot of them don't know what they're talking about with fragrances, but honestly, I don't care. It's fun to see those type of things. And he does give during his lives, which he does about once a week, gives really good fragrance review, not reviews, but opinions of the day, like what fragrances you should choose for which. If you ever have questions, you should go to him. What's up, Camzat? Yeah, I am off today. I forgot that I even took today off. My manager let me know yesterday, hey, you just let you know, when you put in for all your days off for this year, you had 260 hours of PTO, and so you needed to take a bunch of extra days off, and this was one of them. So I was like, all right, cool. What's up, Coco? Joe Tap. I think Victoria from social. Victoria is my secret TikTok girlfriend. I messaged her on, I messaged Jeff on TikTok the one day saying that I love Victoria and her videos, and she commented back to me and said, "You're a king." I was like, "Yeah, well, you're now my girlfriend." she's a let's just say she's pretty, and she is my wife even thinks she's pretty, so let's just put it that way. And she's a Emmy Award winner, so that's pretty cool too. Her name's Victoria Conifal. I didn't see her review on Fire by the Fireplace though. Just scored the 180T, 150 milliliter. Wow. I got mine from TJ Maxx. Well, my wife bought the 180T for me from TJ Maxx, and it was $39, but it was only the 50 milliliter. It did not have a price on it. Yeah, that's what they do. A lot of them don't have prices on them, and then they'll end up marking them up. Whenever I first started going to TJ Maxx, they had Versace Man Eau Fraiche, and the Eau Fraiche was didn't have a barcode on it, but the box was ripped, and it was in the clearance section. So I asked them what the price was, and because it was a Versace, they just said it's $35. At that point in time, I still thought that was a bad deal, and to this day, I'm glad I didn't pick it up because you can still buy Versace Man Eau Fraiche on Fragrance Net for that same exact price. Just a tip for you to organize international fragrance giveaways for your interns. What are you talking about, Coco? Every one of my giveaways has been international except for one. So I've done about what? And somebody in the chat tell me, do you think I've probably done over 10? And every one of them has been international except for one, and that was the 500 subscriber giveaway. And that was because I had just sent one to Europe, and I did not want to spend another $50 to ship the next day. Thanks, David. Smelled by the fireplace, and it doesn't indeed smell like a fireplace with a little bit of sweet and spice. That's what I got. And at that point in time, I haven't smelled it since, and I've got my nose on probably 200 more fragrances since I smelled it. So who knows? I might like it. This one's honestly, this is Coffee Break for those who joined by Mason Margiela. I have a sample of it, and it's okay. It doesn't really smell that. I mean, you get a little bit of coffee in the background, but for the most part, you're just getting like a sweet, almost feminine fragrance. It's very close to being a feminine. I mean, it's good though. It's not one that I would wear personally on a daily basis. It would be one that you could wear during the fall, maybe for specific situations. I mean, I do get coffee from it. Don't get me wrong. There was more coffee in the opening than in the dry down. But you get almost like a floral note in there. It's weird, but it could be different on the skin. I'm not spraying it on skin because I'm going to be going over the next one that I already sprayed on my skin today. Has anyone heard of Chanel? No, I already don't need to finish reading what you wrote. I talk about this all the time on SoCal Sense stream. Chanel has not released anything since I believe 2010 or 2009. I believe it was the Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, or no, a new line, I mean. And it was the Bleu de Chanel, I believe. I'm not 100% sure with that. I know I've talked about it before, and they have not said about releasing anything. They haven't said that they're going to be releasing a new line. They haven't been saying anything. And I think it's about damn time that one of those big fragrance people like Christian Dior or Chanel, or that they need to get out there and finally do either a new line or a new fragrance that's not a flanker of something and smells identical. Like if they came out with another Chanel Allure Homme Sport, like Extreme Intense, I would probably not want to buy it because it's just redundant at this point in time. I need them to come out with something that wows me. And honestly, Edition Blanche did wow me. I do like it, but it doesn't last crazy amount of time. So, yeah, Anyway, so I'm going to get into what I sprayed on myself at the tip in the fragrance of the day. And it's one that I'm going to be revisiting that I kind of shit on the first time. And that is Polo Blue Parfum. So there's still some parts of this fragrance that I'm not 100% sure I like. So again, it's Polo Blue Parfum. And what you get in the opening is pretty much almost identical to the original Polo Blue. You get that mandarin orange, but it's a little, I mean, it's a more modern take on the Polo Blue Parfum, on the original Polo Blue. It's a more modern take on that, in the opening at least. When you get to the dry down, that is where these earthy notes come out, these woody notes. So you get that patchouli, you get that cedar or oak. I don't remember which wood it is. I'd have to look it up. Hold on, let me look it up online. Yeah, it's oak. So you get this patchouli, you get this oak. So it's like woody, it's earthy. And that's the part of the fragrance that I kept saying in my videos is the reason that I wanted to return Polo Blue Parfum was because it just wasn't wowing me in the dry down. And why would I spend a hundred plus dollars on a fragrance that I would rather buy a Chanel or a Dior for whenever Polos get marked down on Macy's website all the time? And I ended up going and rebuying the smaller version of it, and then ended up returning that because I just didn't like it at all. The dry down was kind of similar to Bad Boy Cobalt for me. It's that earthiness. But now that I've been wearing it more, the dry down's actually growing on me, and I'm actually starting to like it a lot more for what it's doing. It is reminding me more of a blue fragrance. So this is a fragrance that if you're iffy on it, that I would definitely give it another try, especially when the weather gets warmer, because when I first tested this, it was about 20 degrees outside. So I would say that you should definitely get your nose on it again. Again, that's Polo Blue Parfum. The opening is sweet, has that blue fragrance, that Polo Blue modern feel. And then when you get to the dry down, it has some lavender. It has some patchouli and some oak to give it a woody, earthy feel, but it still has a bit of that sweetness in the background if you actually pay attention. It's really nice. I would definitely rate it about a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Still nothing special. The Polo Blue entire line does not wow me, but there are some good ones in there that I consider wearing almost on a daily basis. So just wanted to give you guys a follow up on that. Let me read a few of the comments. What price would you buy the new Azzaro Chrome? $50 or less. And how far will it drop? Chromes always drop after about 6 months. They're not like John Varvatos, because John Varvatos usually doesn't drop their fragrances until about a year and a half after or more. Because if you look, I think Double X is still at full price everywhere. But anyway, Azzaro is known for dropping their fragrances anywhere between 6 months and a year. So you will find it dropping down to about the $50 mark, which is why I said just wait. And not only that, sometimes Fragrance Net will just get some overstock on their website randomly. So you should just go on there and on Fragrance X, look under new arrivals every single day, which I'm actually creating a video here soon, letting you guys know what my daily fragrance routine is as far as trying to find the best deals for fragrances, trying to find hidden gems, what my actual routine is like. So if you keep an eye out on that, you'll know how to find Chrome Azzaro, the Eau de Parfum easier, because it'll probably show up on Fragrance Net in a couple months and then be gone, and then come back and then be there for good after about 6 months or so. This is a small suggestion to organize international giveaways for your internet. Cocoa Mousse. That doesn't make sense, though. I'm not trying to be rude or argumentative at all. I'm not that kind of person. But how am I going to do a giveaway when I don't even have the bottle to show on my channel? I'm not going to. I'm doing the giveaway because it's something that I have in my hand that I can create a video that I have a visual presentation of. I'm not just going to say, hey guys, I'm going to be giving away this and just sitting here like that and then saying, I'll order it for you, because it doesn't matter because there's still the international charge that you still have to pay. But even with that said, I wouldn't have the presentation to be able to tell somebody, hey, look, I'm doing an international giveaway, and you guys can't see the bottle. I can't tell you what it smells like because I don't have it. And I'm for sure not going to buy a bottle of something to review it, to then buy another bottle of something and give it to somebody else. All of my other international subscribers have been completely and 100% understanding. I sent one. They all were really happy because most reviewers don't do international at all. And whenever I did my 500 subscriber giveaway and said I was not doing international, they all said, all right, thank you. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to the next one. We just appreciate you doing international in the first place. So I apologize, Coco, but I 100% disagree with you. I think I'm doing it the right way. Even though I'm new, I have a pretty good head on my shoulders. So I think that I'm doing it right because I've already done about 15 giveaways. Yes, the live giveaways aren't going to be international because they're very small. They're something that I'm just doing as a spur of the moment type thing. And if I was giving away international giveaways on every one of my live streams, then I would be spending $50 a week. And it just doesn't make sense to do that. So I will include international people in my 11th giveaway, which is going to be at 750 subscribers, which we are about 100 subscribers away from that. So thank you for your comment, though. David, agree. It's time for a new fragrance, not a flank. Yeah, I agree. What do you think? You like to dislike Sauvage or Gio? What's funny is Sauvage and Gio are my next two fragrances to review from the three main blue fragrances. I don't consider Gio a blue fragrance. I would consider one of their flankers closer to a blue fragrance, but I do not consider Gio a blue fragrance. Just like I really don't consider YSL a blue fragrance. I consider their take on a blue fragrance. But as far as blue fragrances are concerned, Bleu de Chanel is by far 1,000% better than Sauvage. Although I can say that the Sauvage line has the best fragrance from Sauvage Elixir to me is probably better than all of the other fragrances from Bleu de Chanel or YSL. Sauvage Elixir, I've been hating on that line so much, but I have to say Sauvage Elixir is just so good. I've been wearing it the last couple nights, other than last night when I wore Tom Ford's Noir Extreme, and Sauvage Elixir is fantastic. So if you were going to pick up any fragrance that you want to get like a date night one or a cooler weather one, Sauvage Elixir would be the one to go for. If you're looking for an actual blue fragrance, the best one to go with would be Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, or maybe Aqua Atlantique, or either something like, even though again it's not a blue fragrance, YSLY Eau de Parfum, something like that. Or if you're looking for a summer, YSLY Eau Fraiche is really good. All right. International shipping is nuts. It's $50, and I shipped it to the closest international place that I possibly could, and that was London. Thank you, Bojo. Yeah, I think I'm pretty generous. I mean, I think I've done about 20 giveaways, and I'm a new person. I mean, I've just hit 3 months 3 days ago. I have the Polo Ultra Blue. Very nice. And I have never tried the Polo Ultra Blue. I have the entire Polo line now, except Polo Blue line, I should say. But I don't have Polo Ultra Blue. Isn't that discontinued? Can anybody answer that? Did Chanel Edition Blanche? Oh, yeah, it is. I thought you said did. Dude. Today's Polo Blue Parfum for me, although Edition Blanche was my yesterday morning. If you ever want to wear something in the morning, Camzat, wear Chanel Edition Blanche. That's a really, really good early morning spray right when you wake up. Yeah. I've tried Sauvage EDT several times and hate it. See, the thing about Sauvage with me, the original, the Eau de Toilette, the Parfum is the worst by the entire line. I can deal with the Eau de Toilette. the Parfum, the Eau de Parfum is the worst. The Parfum is still pretty bad, but they have this metallic. I understand that it's a blue fragrance. It's hyper appealing, but I don't know who it's hyper appealing to or mass appealing to, because I have not met somebody that went to me and said, "Hey, I love." I mean, I went to Macy's the other day, and I said to the Dior rep. She goes, "Hey, what's up, Randy?" Because I mean, they all know me there, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" She said, um, "So you still hate Sauvage, right?" I said, "Well, other than the elixir, yeah." And she goes, "I don't blame you, because even as a Dior rep, I can tell you, Sauvage, most people that I sprayed on dislike it." And so I mean, this is nothing out to the people that don't like Sauvage. That's totally fine with me. But it's not that great of a fragrance. It's a metallic blue fragrance, heavy on the metallics. It's just, and it's a bit dirty too. But the elixir is fantastic. I can't really say anything else about that. So if the Dior rep's willing to say something bad about it, then I don't get why it's so popular. Yet at the same time, I hated Bleu de Chanel when I first tried it, and now I love it. So who knows? In 2 years, I might be turning into Jeremy Fragrance. Speaking of Jeremy Fragrance, did you guys see the other day he released a video? I mean, obviously, most of his videos are shorts, and the ones that he does create videos of, he's like in his underwear, which I just don't understand. I mean, guys are watching your damn channel. But anyway, he was doing a short the other day, and he was talking. Obviously, I made fun of him in one of my 25 and 5 videos where I said, I hate Bleu de Chanel or Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette is the best in the line. Then I said, oh, the Parfum is actually the best in line, because he changes his mind all the time. Well, I was watching a short the other day. He was talking about what Dior is his signature scent. And then he said, Dior Homme Intense. And he goes, there's nothing else in the Dior lines that I actually like. I actually don't like Sauvage. And I was like, are you kidding? You just hyped up Sauvage for the last 4 years. And you have like a 7-gallon bottle of Sauvage. And now you're sitting there saying that you don't like Sauvage. I mean, you need to find it. If you can find that short, I don't know if it was from lately or if it was just one that popped up on my channel, but he said, I do not like Sauvage at all. I just really don't like it. Those were his exact words. And he was just next to a giant lineup of Dior fragrances. I think it was something about having to do with his signature scent. So if you guys can find it, it's hilarious. Oh, and also, before I start reading your comments again, if you guys saw for about a minute last night, I did a post on my community tab. Nordstrom Rack was the place to be last night because, and I didn't even get to post the second half of it because by the time I did, they were sold out. Prada L'Homme Intense, which is a discontinued fragrance that is running right now about $140 to $150 on average for people selling it. It was on Nordstrom Rack last night for $50. And that was a 4.2 ounce or whatever, the 3.4 ounce, the midsize. And also the Jean Paul Gaultier Superman edition was also $58. So I was able to buy both of those and haven't tested either. I have tested the Intense a while ago. I just don't remember it. So yeah, I got for $100. I was able to, which is about 60 or 70% off. And honestly, that Superman is going for a lot of money right now. And they were both on Nordstrom Rack last night for $58. And if you don't know what the Superman edition is, there's 3 of them. It's Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Eau Fraiche. It's their summer version. Doesn't smell sweet like Le Male at all. It's their fresh version. And there's Popeye on one. There's Superman on other, which all 3 are discontinued. There's another one that has Andre on it, which I don't even know what Andre is, but apparently it's like a stick figure of some sort. And then there's the original Eau Fraiche, which goes for about $105. Penn State fan, UCLA. Yeah, I am a big Penn State fan. I went to Penn State. I went to Pitt and Penn State, which is funny because they're like the biggest rivals. Football is the sport I watch when it comes to what's it called, college. Penn State, it's probably the first or second loudest stadium in all of college football. Um, it's the most rambunctious stadium in the entire college football. I think that Michigan is number one because they just have like such a big stadium for a uh, football team. I already read that. Love the live giveaway. Certainly understandable with the cost of international shipping. Yeah, unfortunately I can't do that on my lives. I'll try my 750 subscriber giveaway is going to be another full bottle. And then my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I mean, if I'm doing full bottles for just my basic giveaways, the that needs to be something special for 1,000. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it'll probably be 2 bottles. Jeremy said Elixir is a fresh summer fragrance. Yeah, Jeremy's nuts, but I mean, he's getting old, so. I wore YSL EDP last night out of the shower before bed. See, I love YSL EDP sometimes, and then other times when I spray YSL EDP, it gives me a freaking headache. I don't really understand YSL. I love YSL EDP, but other times I just can't stand YSL EDP. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't. And Jeff, again from SoCal Sense, said the same thing, except for he doesn't like it 100% of the time. I just sometimes if I spray it, I don't know if I spray it in the wrong spot or if just too much gets sprayed out at one time. It blinds me sometimes and I don't get it. Anyway, so let's get on to since I'll let the comments come in for a second, but Sauvage. Okay. So these are 2 more that I want to talk about here. If you can see it, it's Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum. I want to revisit this. And then again, Sauvage Elixir, which I was already talking about. I won't talk too much about the Sauvage Elixir because I've already talked about it a little bit. And I'm going to do a video about it. I sprayed this entire decant from Sephora into here, and I do it all the time. It's a warm and spicy fragrance. It's if you took that Sauvage DNA and you dialed it down and then just added this like warm and spicy, fresh nighttime fragrance that has a bit of cinnamon, a bit of cardamom, some citruses in the opening, but more of like the warm style citruses like grapefruit. And it's just a really good nighttime fragrance that can be worn all year round. It is not a daytime fragrance whatsoever. If it was anything for a season, I would say it would be more fall and spring. But it is a date night fragrance that you can wear all year round. Just stay away from the higher heat nights in summer because it can be cloying. That sweetness that it has in it and that warm and spiciness definitely doesn't do that good. I wear Sauvage Eau de Parfum as always. Get the least and few unsolicited comments. At least a few unsolicited from complete strangers. Although I don't believe in the compliment factor at all. I don't think compliments are even a real thing. Nothing against you. I mean, you might be like one of the best looking guys in the world and you could be walking down the street and people compliment you. I mean, that's fantastic. And if that happens to you, fantastic. But I think that reviewers who say that they're getting compliments or that you should be getting compliments or I was walking down the street and get compliments, I just think that they're lying out their butthole because I'm not a bad looking guy. I'm not a fantastic looking guy, but I mean, I've swiped some honeys in my day. And I can tell you, other than middle school and high school, whenever I was the only guy that was wearing some of the best colognes out there, that when everybody else was wearing Chrome and Acqua di Gio. And that's when people were saying, you smell good, you smell good, you smell good. And that's pretty much the gist of it. Nowadays, the only compliments I get are from my family, like my mom, my sister, my wife, my daughter. And even my wife and daughter are sick of my colognes now that they don't even say much. So at the end of the day, I just don't think that compliments are a big thing. I think that it's just people lying out their butts. If you do get compliments, you're a great looking guy, or if you're at work or something and someone smells say you smell good, that's great. I just don't agree. And Sauvage will get you, if it gets you a compliment, great. I don't think it would ever get me a compliment. And if I think I went to work and wore any of my colognes, Sauvage Eau de Parfum would probably be the only one out of, if I picked 5, that would not get unsolicited comments at work or if I was back in high school. That's just my opinion because I don't like the fragrance. But anyway, I love the dry down on Edition Blanche. It's like, see, Camzat, in my video today, isn't it like that? So Edition Blanche, it's like you get 99% lemon with this little drop of vanilla. And then as you get to about 15 minutes into the fragrance, it's like the vanilla becomes 75% of the fragrance, while the lemon turns from a citrusy lemon into more of a sweet and tart lemon, mixing with that vanilla, turning it into like a lemon tart pastry. That's exactly the way to put that fragrance. And then once you get a bit further into the dry down, you get some sandalwood in there, which comes in and kind of gives it a bit of aromatics and a bit of musk, but there's really not much of a difference there. It's all you can literally say to somebody is a lemon vanilla fragrance. You don't need to say anything else, and that is exactly what you get from it. So anyway, Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum. It's probably one of the ones that I've hated on the most on my fragrance channel. I grew up, I hated Acqua di Gio because I wore it for about 20 years. I did love it back in the day. I liked it when Armani Mania was a thing, when Armani Code was brand new, and I wore this, and when I first put it on, I sprayed it on my hand, and I was on the way home. I was spraying decants from Nordstrom's, and I got in the car, and I realized that I got the Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum all over my hand. I did a video about it the next day saying how it smelled like straight up BO in the dry down. So I still understand where I was coming from when I said that, but when I do wear this now, I'm just saying this for the people who do like Acqua di Gio and maybe listened to my video and said, okay, I'm not picking that up. So to me, this is better than the original, but not as good as like Profondo or my favorite Absolute. It still has a bit of that odor, like socks in the background, unless you go out into the heat. If you spray this on when you're in the high heat, that is where it was different for me over the last couple of days. Whenever I would spray it in the air or on a test strip, I wouldn't get that BO smell anymore. And it was actually a really nice citrus fragrance that had these marine notes and marine notes, mineral notes, aromatics. I mean, it was actually a really nice fragrance. And so I just wanted to let you guys know, Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum, something that you should definitely get your nose on before you decide whether or not you want to buy it or not like it. It's good. It's still not one of the ones that I would say, hey, it's fantastic, you should pick up. But I do have to say that BO factor that Joe Tap just mentioned is not, honestly, I had that put in my head by Jeff from SoCal Sense, because he said it smells like BO, it smells like BO. And then when he had a girl come on the channel to review it, when she was smelling it, he goes, "You don't smell BO?" And then she's like, "Oh, no, I kind of do. Yeah, like socks or something." And so it kind of got it in my head that that's what it smelled like. But now I don't fully get that anymore. And I don't know if it's because the summer's here or not, but just wanted to let you guys know. This one I'm actually interested to try because I haven't tried this in about 3 months, and it's 1 Million Elixir. Just an FYI, guys, I have to be done this live at about 2:55 because I have to get my daughter off the bus. I was going to do a giveaway in this live, but I've told you in previous giveaways, I am only doing giveaways if I get over 20 people in the live, and I haven't even got over 15 yet. So unfortunately, to those of you who are in my channel right now, which I have been writing down your names, the ones who have been here the whole time, on Sunday, if you are there, you will have your name written down twice. If you are not there, you will still have your name written down once, because yeah, I'm not doing a giveaway for just 10 people. That's just my opinion. So you will, the people who are in the chat, that's Joe Tap, David, Daniel, Kamzat, and there was a few others that I wrote down before. You guys will be in there either twice or one time, depending on if you are in my live giveaway on Sunday. So again, every Sunday I'm going to be doing lives around 6:30 p.m. So the next one I'm going to be testing out is Sauvage, or not Sauvage, 1 Million Elixir. Again, I haven't tried this in quite a long time. Yeah, Nigel, you were one of them. So I haven't tried this in a while. When I first smelled it, I said it smelled really good, but it became almost too strong, too cloyingly sweet, that I ended up returning the fragrance. If you guys know what I like to do, I don't like to keep fragrances that I'm not going to wear. I'd rather return it and buy a bunch more. So I like it. I like it a lot. It's still, I mean, it's on a test strip right now, and I remember it was on my skin. But I have to say, it's good. So yeah, in the opening, I think I've said this in my original video, is that you get this apple, this sweetness with a little bit of a floral. If I can remember correctly, I mean, I can smell apple, so I know apple's in it. But then I remember you getting rose in the mid, and then that rose kind of stays there, and it kind of brings you back to the a reminder of the parfum. So that florally parfum with that sweetness. And to me, it was almost like the original, a little bit sweeter with a better performance. Projection, it was a little bit better. And then you also got this parfum floral aspect in it, which I don't really like the parfum that much. I don't really like floral notes. I don't like rose very much, but I can tell you, right in the opening here, it's very sweet. If you like really sweet fragrances, this is one you should definitely try out. It's a 2022 release. You get apple, you get some tonka and vanilla, giving you a bit of this creamy sweetness in there. It's still, and I understand what I was talking about back then. It's still a bit cloying. It's still sweet, but it's really nice. It's one that I'm probably going to end up adding to my collection again at some point in time. And I honestly, I don't remember why I even got rid of this, because it does smell really nice. It does smell like a little bit like gummy bears and vanilla is what I get it a bit. It's actually good, and you get some woody notes in there. So that's why I wanted to revisit this, because I remember when I first sprayed it on, I liked it a lot, but then it was kind of like on my skin. It was one of those fragrances that you're like, get off me. It's too strong. It's like everywhere you went, it was stinging your nose. And so I do have a few fragrances that do that for me. Halloween Man X is probably the leader of that category. It does not sit well on my skin. It gives me a headache. It makes me want to sneeze. That's probably the number one fragrance that does it to me. Another one is one that I actually just sent to you, Kamzat, but I honestly don't know what's going on with Lamal, because the one that I sent you smells very sweet. Whenever I went to Ulta the other day and I sprayed it on, the reason I actually bought that for you guys was because I went to Ulta the day before. I went and got that one, and the Lamal wasn't as sweet. It was sweet, yes, but just not that sweet. Then yours was just really sweet. And then I went out a few days later to the mall and I smelled it out, and it wasn't sweet. I mean, it wasn't as sweet as the one I gave you. So I'm kind of confused if maybe I was just smelling something different that night. It still smelled good. It was just a little bit too sweet, and it was giving me a headache. which is why I ended up doing the giveaway. But it still smells really good. But I don't know if they just have batch issues, which again, I don't like to use those words, but yeah. What's up, Mumra? Now I have to give it a try. My wallet is going to hate me. Believe me, I told my wife. Yeah, it's still really good, David. You get that for it's synthetics through and through. So Paco Rabanne, they don't like their natural notes. They like their synthetics. But synthetics aren't bad in a fragrance if used correctly. And I think that's why I didn't like it, is because if I remember, I didn't think, because in normal aspects, when it comes to fragrances, an elixir should last the longest of any of the fragrances, but it's not going to be the strongest. As you go up in concentration, the projection is supposed to wane down a little bit, or at least stay the same. And when I sprayed this on, I think I sprayed it 2 or 3 times. And this fragrance, all you need to do is spray it once or twice. And then that's all you really need, because if you spray it too much, and I think that's why I like it on this tester strip right now, because if you Azzaro, that's my favorite fragrance house. I'm not talking niche, because if I was talking niche, it would be Parfums de Marly. But as far as designer, sorry, I saw that, and I always have to point out Azzaro, because if you would have asked me a couple, like 2 years ago, my answer would have been Jean Paul Gaultier or YSL. And those are still in my top 3. But Azzaro is my number 1 fragrance house, because they have released Wanted by Night, which is my favorite fall fragrance. They have released Most Wanted, which is my favorite date night fragrance for all year round, and my favorite gourmand fragrance. And then now they released Most Wanted Parfum, which is slowly becoming my favorite, also fall, winter, and early spring fragrance. So, yeah, I didn't smell Le Male before that either, surprisingly. I smelled a bunch of other Le Males, Ultramall, Le Male Parfum. I never got around to smelling the original Le Male. I think I smelled it on a tester before. But anyway, the last one that I had here was the one, yeah, the last one I had here that I wanted to talk about was the one that I talked about last night, Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. I first got this in my first ever pack from Micro Perfumes. Whenever I first got into, it was like 2 years ago, I really got into collecting. At that point in time, I had like 20 bottles, and I was just looking to collect more and more. And so I decided to go on Micro Perfumes based on a tip on one of my Facebook groups that I was on at that point in time, which I'm not on any anymore. And they were giving me a list of what I should pick up as far as my first decants. They said Santal 33 Le Labo smells like dirty pickles, just an FYI. It's the worst fragrance I have smelled as a niche to date, Santal 33 Le Labo. Some people I hear like it in like LA, but I hate it. I got Creed's Aventus to try for the first time. I didn't like it at that point in time. I got Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, which I ended up loving and was one of my favorites. I got Tom Ford's Oud Wood, which you actually saw me. It was the same sample from Micro Perfumes that I got 2 years ago that I tried on my last live. The first time I tried it, I hated the Oud Wood. And when I tried it last week, I actually liked it. So, and then I also got Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. And then I got a couple Parfums de Marly. And that's what introduced me to Parfums de Marly. And that's what I tried Noir Extreme. To me, it was a little bit too cloyingly sweet. It was too spicy. So when I first sprayed this on, I didn't like it. This was the first time that I've worn this sample, again, since whenever I first got it 2 years ago. And now when I sprayed it on last night and the night before that, I just had to go and make a post for you guys because it is so great. David, I did Creed Aventus cologne review on my last live. I like Aventus now. I didn't like it when I first tried it. Aventus cologne to me is better than Aventus. And Mont Blanc Explorer's opening, people say it smells like Aventus. I think it smells like Aventus cologne, but only for 5 minutes. just to give you a little breakdown of what I was talking about. And hi, Chris. So anyway, I tried this on last night and the night before, and Tom Ford's No Air Extreme is a really good fragrance for the fall and winter. It's one that I'm going to definitely pick up a bottle. It's not as expensive as the other Tom Fords because it's not in his private blends. It's just a normal Tom Ford. It's like 120 some bucks. And that's for the big bottle of it. For the 3.4, I'd probably just get a mid-size or a lower bottle. It has opening of cardamom, grapefruit, or that was Sauvage Elixir, cardamom and nutmeg, and I believe grapefruit was actually orange, cardamom, grapefruit, or cardamom, orange, and nutmeg. Sorry, it gives you this warm, spicy, semi-warm, citrusy vibe in the opening, and it has almost an ambery feel to it as well. Somebody told me it smells very similar to Mercedes-Benz Select Night, which I disagree because Select Night is a lot less natural, a little bit more fresh, and it just doesn't smell exactly like it. And then whenever you get the No Air Extreme to the dry down, this beautiful vanilla comes out mixed with that nutmeg, and it creates this real fall feeling sweet fragrance. So if you guys have not smelled this, I usually do not like Tom Ford's fragrances, but it's a nice oriental sweet fragrance, and it is probably one of my favorites, slowly climbing up the charts of my favorite fall nighttime fragrances, and it's only after me wearing it a couple times. What's up, Hunter? So everybody, Camzat, he was one of my winners from a few weeks ago. He sent me a few samples in the mail that they're on their way, and two of them are from Parfums de Marly. One is Harad, and one is Ojan. I think that's how you say it. I've had Ojan in my video before, as far as just like scrolling around and showing you guys, but I've never actually tried Ojan, and I've tried Harad, but it was like a year and a half ago, and I don't remember anything what it smells like, so I'm really excited to get those, and I'm going to be doing a video letting you know what I think about them. And then he's also sending me one from Zarahoff, which I'm really excited about as well. So thanks, Camzat, really nice guy. Yeah, David, I'm really excited to try Ojan. That's one that I've been wanting to try, and when I went to try it in Nordstrom's, the top of it was broke off, and then the second time when I went, I had a guy staring at me thinking that I was stealing something, and so I just walked away. Kingdom Fragrances has No Air Extreme on sale. I've never heard of Kingdom Fragrances. But with that said, No Air Extreme is, even at Sephora, most of the time $130 for the 3.4 ounce, from what I remember, unless that's the smaller one. But I looked up last night and it was the 3.4 ounce for $130. But I've never even heard of Kingdom Fragrances, so I can't tell you if that's even safe. Because I know a lot of people say Kingdom Fragrances, Aura Fragrances, and they bring it up all the time, but Aura Fragrances is a fake site through and through. And people say it in my live all the time. The only ones that I will ever use and will ever trust are Fragrance Net, Fragrance Buy, Fragrance X, Joma Shop, which they suck on new releases, but and Max Aroma. Those are the only ones that I have ever actually used. Obviously Macy's and Sephora's, but I was talking about the other ones. I finally picked up Azzaro Most Wanted Parfum. Been wanting this. Yeah, it's so good. It sucks because it's summer right now. If you live where I live, it's fine. You can still wear it during the summer nights. But the more I've worn Azzaro the Most Wanted Parfum, the more I realized it's for fall, winter, and spring, and summer nights below about 70 degrees or so. So, but it's probably my number 2 or number 1 fragrance out there. I just love it. There's something about that fragrance that just does it for me. Oh, it's just about time to go. I think I got one more here. Invictus Platinum. So this is going to be one of the ones that I'm going to be giving away, and that I would have gave away. And I was going to give away all of these in this live. That was my whole reason for this live. But with 9 people in here, it's just not worth it right now. So Invictus Platinum, I thought it was more of a 1 million lucky when I first sprayed it on, mixed with a bit of Bad Boy Cobalt, which are already similar, as you say. And when I keep wearing this fragrance, I actually like this a bit better than 1 million lucky. The more I wear it. And once I get into the dry down, and again, Bad Boy Cobalt still has the best opening and would be the best fragrance through all the way. If the opening stayed throughout the entire dry down. But Invictus Platinum is growing on me more and more, and it started out about a 7 for me, and now it's about an 8.5. It's a good fruity, woody, spring, summer, pretty much all year round fruity, woody fragrance. Wouldn't be that great in the high heat, but it's a nice fragrance that everybody should definitely get their hands on. And I was too quick to knock it. I think I was just going again based on a lot of people were telling me is that I shouldn't pick it up because it wasn't good. I smelled it myself. I didn't give it its shot because it smelled like 1 million lucky. And while it still does smell like Bad Boy Cobalt, it does have its own bubblegummy sweetness, and it has this fruity notes mixed with those wood accords, and it actually comes across really nice. And so with 1 million lucky being removed from retail, I actually think that this is a good option. So Invictus Platinum, but it is $249. So since we didn't really get many people in here, I appreciate all of you, those who did show up. I'm not surprised though, because it was during the day. Let me see if there's any other comments here before I leave. Fragrance Fantastic Steve has a kind of, I don't even know who Fanatic Steve is. I don't watch YouTube that often. And with people who are just creating YouTube channels to advertise their stores or their buddy stores, a lot of times those are not legit. And a lot of times, if they are legit, they're just not as good of a retailer as some of the other ones, or you won't get as good of prices. So again, I'm not going to use Kingdom Fragrances, and that's just I get it. But for me, if I'm a reviewer hunter and I create my own store, the only people that would actually trust me are the ones that are following me and have been watching me for quite some time. But how do you know that I'm not sitting here and opening up my Chrome Azzaros and putting water in them just a little bit so that I could decant out 3 or 4 decants and sell them separately? How do you know that I'm not doing that? I mean, any random person can create a channel. And so with that said, there was another guy who has a channel that I saw, and he does a decanting site on the side, and he actually got kicked off YouTube and all that because it turned out that his decants were all watered down decants. And so you never know, but I'm saying the ones that you can I'm never going to pitch, and I've told you guys this before. I'm never going to tell you if something is discontinued if I'm not 100% sure if it's discontinued. I'm not going to tell you that you should shop at this place if I'm not 100% sure it's safe or legit. And so that's why I'll say the only places that you should ever shop for fragrances outside of the normal retailers are Fragrance Net, Fragrance X, and Fragrance Buy. Fragrance Buy to me is a last ditch resort only because I've got damaged products from them. Not only that, you have to buy 5 fragrances. And so I think they're the best to get if you're getting clones and a bunch of cheap fragrances, because then you can buy 5 and get free shipping. But Fragrance X, Fragrance Net, and Max Aroma, and what's the other one? Joma Shop. Just don't buy new releases on Joma Shop unless it's your only choice. And just to let you guys know, the way that I find out things about like Nordstrom Rack and Saks Off Fifth is that every night I go on, I check Nordstrom Rack, I check TJ Maxx, I check all of that. I just go through their men's fragrances real fast. Takes me about 5 minutes for all of them. And they usually update them once every few days. You just check and see if there's any discontinued fragrances on there. Or like TJ Maxx, if you're ever looking for Parfums de Marly, they sell, like, for instance, Parfums de Marly Greenly is on Fragrance Net right now for $230 for the 2.5 ounce, or $300 some dollars for the 4.2 ounce. TJ Maxx, they only get the 4.2 ounce Parfums de Marly's, and they only get the 4.2 ounce ones from Parfums de Marly. A lot of times, like right now, they have Greenly on there for $215 or something like that for the 4.2 ounce. They had Sedley on there for $215 for the 4.2 ounce. They had Leighton. They've had Ojan. They've had Godolphin, or whatever, however you say that. If you ever want to get a Parfums de Marly and you want to get it on the cheap and you want to get a full-size bottle, it's always about $215 to $230 on TJ Maxx. Just keep checking every week, and they always get new Parfums de Marly's and new Creeds in there, which is pretty much the best prices that you can find Creeds and Parfums de Marly's for is on TJ Maxx's website. And if you can't find them on TJ Maxx's website, just an FYI, Marshall's website, Marshall's is also owned by TJ Maxx. And so they take half of their product and put it on TJ Maxx's online site, and the other half go on to Marshall's. You might see some of the same, but the Parfums de Marly, right now, I think Greenlee's on TJ Maxx, and Percival is on Marshall's, and they're both around $215, which, again, you're saving yourself $100. But that's how I do it. That's how I found out that Prada L'Homme Intense last night was on sale. I got it for 70% off almost, and it's a discontinued fragrance that's going to be sold for probably in the $250 to $300 in the next year or two. So whether or not you like Prada, I wish you guys would have saw my post. And then obviously that Superman that came on there last night from Jean Paul Gaultier, got that for a steal, and that's already going for about $150. But all right, guys, I'm going to peace out. I got to go get my daughter off the bus. It was fun, just an extra live. Next time, hopefully, we get Prada L'Homme Intense is the same thing as Prada L'Homme, just a lot more of that powdery iris. I've sprayed it. I've tried it one time. It's like an intense version of the Prada L'Homme. If you were to take Prada L'Homme and Dior Homme Intense and put them together, that is pretty much what you get with, from what I remember, Prada L'Homme Intense. It is a fantastic fragrance that I wish it was still on. What's it called? I almost didn't buy it last night. I was going to wait, but I bought it, and I'm really happy that I got it. But anyway, I got to get my daughter off the bus, so I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully we get over 20 people so that we can do the giveaway. So peace out, and I'll talk to you guys later.